Today we'll be ranking the Magic Kingdom attractions from worst to best. Hello and welcome to the Let's Go to Disney podcast. I'm Oliver.
And I'm Lucy.
Today is Sunday, March 17th, and you're listening to episode 27, Ranking the Magic Kingdom Attractions. Before we get into today's main topic, here's what's going on in the parks right now. Disney dropped some ticket deals this week. The 4-day, 4-park Magic ticket starts at $99 per person per day and includes one admission to each of the 4 parks. This is a total of 4 admissions on 4 separate days in a 7-day span, anytime between April 2nd and September 22nd. There is a limit of 1 admission per theme park, 1 theme park per day, meaning you'll have to visit all 4 parks and you can't double any of the parks. The special 3-day, 3-park Magic ticket starts at $89 per day and includes 1 admission to Animal Kingdom, Epcot, and Hollywood Studios. This does not include Magic Kingdom, which in my opinion is the biggest downside to this deal.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah.
This is a total of 3 admissions on 3 separate days in a 5-day span, anytime between April 2nd and September 24th. There is a limit of 1 admission per theme park, 1 theme park per day. You'll have to visit the 3 parks and you can't double any of the parks. I can't see this deal being overly popular unless you visit the parks often. Magic Kingdom is the flagship park and the one that most people associate with Disney World as a whole.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that.
And lastly, Florida residents can take advantage of the 4-day Discover Disney ticket starting at $59 per person per day, or choose a 3-day ticket starting at $73 per day. These are valid from April 2nd to September 28th, but do require Park Pass reservations, which the other deals do not. Reservations will be limited, and these tickets can be used on consecutive days or non-consecutive days. The advanced dining reservation update that we mentioned last week went live this week. So previously, when making advanced dining reservations, you had to look for reservations by day, and you could filter by meal period like breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Disney previously made an update that you could see all available times for the day, which was a welcome addition. Now they've gone a step further, and you can see reservations for up to 10 days all at once. From the dining reservation screen, you'll enter your date and party number like before, but now you'll see a date range button. That will allow you to select a date range of up to 10 days at a time. This will make snagging a specific restaurant much easier. For example, say you really want to eat at Ohana. This is super important to you and your party, and you're not picky on the day. Well, you can see multiple days at once and pick the time and day that best works for you.
I really like that feature, actually. I think that's going to help a lot of people out.
Yeah, 100%. On that note, prices were announced for 1900 Park Fare. Breakfast will be $54 for adults and $34 for children, and dinner will be a whopping $66 per adult and $49 per child. Steep prices, but we kind of saw that coming.
Oh, that's so steep, though.
Yeah, it is a character meal, and it is at the Grand Flow. So
yeah, I guess it's to be expected, like you said.
Yeah, 100%. With that said, in today's episode, we'll be ranking the attractions in Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World from worst to best. So obviously, this is a very subjective topic, and if you've ever been to Walt Disney World, you likely have your favorites and less favorites as well. And so you may agree or disagree with our ranking, and we totally get that. On the flip side, if you've never been to Walt Disney World or it's been a really long time since your last visit, this will help you get a better understanding of what attractions are in Magic Kingdom and which ones you may want to prioritize based on what they have to offer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, there aren't many attractions in the parks, Magic Kingdom included, that we truly despise, okay? So
despise.
Yeah, no, we're big Disney fans, and like there's some that we like more than others, but like broadly speaking, we like most attractions.
Yes, we can appreciate the effort that the Imagineers put into every single ride. So just that alone gives every ride a leg up.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. But having said that, there are those that stand head and shoulders above others.
Absolutely.
And, you know, whether that's because of the thrill factor, the nostalgia, or originality in Imagineering, some attractions are just flat out superior in our opinion.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, so we listed 31 attractions here, so this includes actual rides and shows. Although we didn't include live entertainment like parades, cavalcades, and nighttime spectaculars, we are strictly talking here about classic attractions, so with queues, with either a ride or show that follow.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's kick this off with our least favorite in the park, and coming in at number 31. That's going to be Magic Carpets of Aladdin. This attraction is located pretty much in the center of Adventureland, and it's pretty standard spinning arm ride. It's not overly different from the type of spinning armed rides you'd find at local amusement parks or fairs. And you've ridden this one many times in your life, I'm pretty sure, or something very identical to it. There isn't anything overly special about the theming or the story, so it's not really something to write home about. My daughter Sophia and I, we rode this last time when our son Caleb and Oliver were riding Tron. She's still too little to ride Tron.
Yep.
So we wouldn't wait more than maybe 5-10 minutes max for this one. She liked it, though.
Yeah, agreed. It's a spinning arm ride, right? It's themed through Aladdin. It's right in the center of Adventureland. if you've got a little, and like that's a perfect example, right? We were off riding Tron and you need some time to kill. It's a good one to stop at. Otherwise,
yeah, it's the perfect, the little one's too little for the fun ride, so throw her on that one. She'll be happy.
Yeah, 100%. Next up at number 30 is Astro Orbiter. Okay, so you'll see a trend form near the bottom here right away. We're not huge fan of spinning arm attractions, and it's just because there's
not much to them.
Yeah, exactly. There's just not a whole lot to them, okay?
Yeah.
But this is definitely above Magic Carpet simply for the views it gives you. So this attraction is located in the center of Tomorrowland. You have to take an elevator up to the attraction because the ride itself is located above the building that houses the queue for the People Mover and the launching pad. While the ride vehicle itself is just okay, it's definitely slightly better than Magic Carpets because it gives you great views of Tomorrowland and the castle. Having said that, it's kind of a pain to get up there. Yeah. It's super slow loading, and we waited way too long for it last trip, in my opinion. Yeah. This is another one I would never wait more than 5 or 10 minutes for, and that's at like the very max end.
Completely agreed. Coming in at number 29 is Tomorrowland Speedway. We have a love-hate relationship for this ride.
Agreed, yep.
Our son Caleb loves it. He likes getting behind the wheel of the car and driving. So it's really fun for him and those kids of his age. He's almost 9 years old. For us, that's basically where the fun ends, really.
Yep.
The queue is outdoors and hot and has nothing to really look at, and the cars kind of stink.
Yeah.
And it's essentially a slow ride on a guided rail around the track, and not really our idea of a fun attraction. When we don't have the kids with us, we completely skip this one altogether.
Yeah, 100%. It has like I don't know, what do you call it? Like a gas smell, like kind of.
And the steering wheel's sticky.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like it, but our kids do.
Yeah, some more than others, right? But yeah, 100%. Like our son is a car fan. He loves everything cars related. So, it's a hit for him. But again, when it's just Lucy and I, we typically skip this one 100%. Yeah.
Agreed.
Coming in at number 28 is Country Bear Jamboree. Now, I know this is a hot take because it's an opening day attraction and the nostalgia factor is definitely there. When it first opened in Frontierland, that was in 1971 with Walt Disney World. So again, opening day attraction. It was super popular and plans were immediately made to bring it to Disneyland on the West Coast. It opened a year later over there in California in 72. And that ran all the way to 2001 when it was replaced by Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. That's still over in California. In Disney World, this attraction is currently closed for refurbishment. And when it reopens, it'll be revamped with new songs that may bump it a couple spots going forward. But in its original form and despite its story in the Disney history, we're just not huge fans of this one.
Yeah.
We know some people love it, but yeah, there it is.
That's our opinion on it. Next up at number 27, we have Under the Sea, which is Journey of the Little Mermaid. This attraction is tucked away back in Fantasyland. This is an Omnimover slow ride attraction that will have you board a clamshell, and it takes you through all the little scenes for The Little Mermaid. The scenes are very well done for the most part, and if you've got Little Mermaid fans in your party, they're really going to appreciate this attraction.
Yeah, 100%.
We don't actually mind this attraction. There's actually nothing wrong with it, but it's just definitely not a favorite for us. We wouldn't wait more than maybe 10 minutes for this one.
Yeah, agreed. There's nothing wrong with it. The songs are, the songs from the movie, and
the animatronics are wonderful.
Yeah, it's cute. The Ursula is really well done.
Yes.
But yeah, 100%.
10 minutes max.
Yeah, exactly. At number 26 is Swiss Family Treehouse. That's back in Adventureland, not far from the Jungle Cruise entrance. So this is a fun place for your kids to be able to burn off some energy if they need to.
I agree with this, yeah.
If they're getting fed up of, standing in queues and need to run around freely for a little bit, it's a good place to do that. So at the top, it gives you good views of the park in Adventureland as a whole, as well as good views of Jungle Cruise attraction. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Number 26 for that.
Number 25 is the Tom Sawyer Island, which has a very similar vibe to the Swiss Family Treehouse in the sense that you can kind of let your kids run around and burn off that energy. This one is located across the rivers of America at Tom's Landing. So you're going to take a log raft across from Frontierland, and then you take it back to get back to Frontierland. So here you can kind of sit down. You can let your kids run free, knowing that they're not going to be able to get off this island without taking the raft back.
Yeah, exactly. It is truly an island. So it's not like
they'll explore.
Yeah, exactly. You can kind of, take solace in the fact that they have to take that raft, right?
Yeah.
So they're not going to get past you. So let them roam freely, let them run around. It's a good place to do that.
Yeah.
At number 24, we've got Dumbo the Flying Elephant. So this is in Storybook Circus. That's at the back of Fantasyland, between Fantasyland and Tomorrowland. And this attraction is another spinning arm ride in Magic Kingdom, but this one is better than Aladdin and Astro Orbiter. And here's why. Okay, so number one, you've got two ride systems instead of one, right? So there's two arms essentially. So that's twice the load capacity, which is a plus. And two, the ride queue has an air conditioned playground for the littles to run around, which is a huge plus in my opinion.
Huge. Okay, yeah. The smart move on Disney's part.
Yeah, absolutely. This easily puts it above the other two spinning arm rides in this park. So there it is. Yeah.
Completely agreed with that. At number 23, we've got the Hall of Presidents. So this one has a nostalgia factor because this is the succession of great moments with Mr. Lincoln, which debuted at the 64-65 World's Fair. This was a project that Walt himself was heavily involved in, and he wanted to see it be successful at the fair. So they were down to the wire, and they almost didn't make it. But when it was unveiled to the world, people legitimately thought that this was a real person and would toss pennies at the animatronic to see what would happen.
Yep.
The Hall of Presidents expanded the show's legacy by including all presidents, and it opened in 1971 with the park. Today's a really good place to actually go sit down, enjoy some AC for a while. So the show is just about under a half hour. It actually is. I agree with that. It's a really good spot to just go and cool off.
Yep, agreed 100%. At number 22, we've got The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. So this is back in Fantasyland, and it takes you in an oversized honeypot through the 100-acre woods through scenes and songs from the movie. Okay, so the front of the queue has interactive elements for the littles in your party, which is
cute,
nice.
yeah.
It's a dark, slow-moving ride, and if you've got Winnie the Pooh fans in your party, it's sure to please. This ride sometimes gets a pretty high weight, which I think is definitely not worth it. Okay,
I agree, yeah.
So later in the day, when you've snagged all your other lightning lanes, you can ride it that way. Otherwise, keep an eye on the wait times and only jump in the queue when the wait time is manageable. So definitely somewhere around 30 minutes or less.
Yes, I agree. I think it gets a higher weight queue because of where it's located right next to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Yeah, it's all in that kind of Fantasyland where all those popular rides are, like Peter Pan and everything else, kind of in that same area. So
absolutely. At number 21 is Mickey's PhilharMagic. This theater is located in Fantasyland near the back of the castle and features a 3D adventure hosted by Donald Duck.
Yep.
And in the show, he dons Mickey's sorcerer hat, and you get to hear some songs and see some shenanigans. It's a really fun show for the whole family, and another really good break from the heat and the crowds.
Yeah, agreed 100%.
Yeah, it's a fairly short show, clocking in at, I think, just over 10 minutes or so. So you won't be off your feet for too long, but it's definitely worth a stop in our opinion.
Yeah, agreed 100%. Next up at number 20 is Mad Tea Party. So this is located pretty much right at the entrance to Fantasyland from Tomorrowland, next to Cheshire Cafe. This is the spinning teacups ride. Okay, so
classic.
Yeah, exactly. People either hate this one or love this one, and there's not a whole lot of in between.
No,
so for me, I don't mind spinning rides, and it's a classic in my opinion, and we do it every trip. You have the steering wheel in the middle, so it can be very spinny or very little, depending on who's in your car with you, essentially, or your cup rather. While we do this one every time, we never wait very long for it. So 15 minutes or less, nothing more than that for sure.
Completely agreed. Next up at number 19 is the Liberty Square Riverboat. And as you might have guessed from the name, you get on this boat from Liberty Square near the entrance to Haunted Mansion. You're going to board the Liberty Belle Riverboat, which is an authentic steam-powered paddle wheeler. It's a very impressive boat. I love seeing it all the time.
It's
you always know because the big horn goes off. It's great.
Yeah.
The trip is just over 15 minutes long and is narrated in the voice of Mark Twain. During the ride, you'll see scenes from the American frontier, as well as a really good view of the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and Haunted Mansion. This is a really great way to relax for a while.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. It's a nice, leisurely cruise around the rivers of America. Yep, definitely a good way to spend a few minutes. At number 18, the Barnstormer. Okay, so this is a pretty mild coaster. Yes. It's located over in Storybook Circus. It's less thrilling than Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Slinky Dog Dash. It's a perfect way to introduce smaller kids to roller coasters. Okay, so it's a good introductory coaster in that sense. Our kids love it. Our son is probably getting at an age now where he may start skipping it. But if you've got younger kids, it's definitely a solid way to get their feet wet in terms of thrill rides. Funny note, 2 trips ago, all 4 of us got stuck on this just before our Cinderella's Royal Table reservation, so we were all sweating. We ended up, running across Fantasyland. I had Sophia in my arms and you were running on my heels with Caleb.
Yeah.
And we made it just a couple minutes late. And in the end, we ended up waiting in the lobby anyway. But
there you go. So, but we just didn't want to be those people that were late for our reservation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
At number 17, we've got the Enchanted Tiki Room, and there's no way you are coming out of here without that tune stuck in your head.
Agreed.
But again, this is a very classic attraction, and it originally opened in 1963 in Disneyland. At the time, it was groundbreaking technology that wowed guests of all ages and was the precursor to more complex audio animatronics that came after. It opened in Disney World as Tropical Serenade and was later renamed to the original attraction. The current show features over 225 choreographed audio animatronics, and we always enjoy this show. Again, there's history, there's nostalgia there, and we're huge Walt Disney fans, so we just enjoy it.
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree more. At number 16 is the Prince Charming Regal Carousel. So this is located directly behind Cinderella Castle. This attraction itself is a standard carousel, but the horses are unique and it's inspired by Disney's Cinderella. This carousel's first home was not Walt Disney World, fun fact, or Disneyland for that matter. It was built in 1917 by the Philadelphia Toboggan Company. It was originally located at Belle Isle Park in Detroit, Michigan, and was named the Liberty Carousel. But it was bought and repurposed and opened with Disney World in 1971. Our daughter loves this ride. We have a photo of her on this attraction that just melts my heart every time I see it.
That's true. It's a nice photo, yeah.
It's got some nostalgia for our family for sure. And if you have littles in your party, they'll surely like this one for sure.
Yes, absolutely. At number 15, Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor. This is an interactive comedy show at the entrance of Tomorrowland from the Hub. And this is actually such a good show, and it's consistently one of our favorites. We always laugh and have a really good time here. Oliver and I have been picked out of the crowd on several occasions, and it's hilarious and fun. You just got to go with it.
Yeah, 100%.
It's hilarious.
Yep.
It gets holiday overlays as well during the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party as well, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah,
We've
agreed.
been to all of them. We think they're great.
Yep.
It's also just a great way to get out of the sun, off your feet, and into some AC. We would definitely recommend to stop at this one.
Yeah, 100%. It's always so much fun. And they pick out people in the
It's so
crowd
fun.
and make fun of them essentially, right? So there's
Gotta
like
have a good sense of humor.
Exactly, right? There's like spectator participation here as well, which makes it really fun. All right, as we get closer to the top here, there's really no bad attractions, Kane. We kind of prefaced this at the beginning of the episode, but for us and for some of you as well, I'm sure, a lot of these attractions are fun and enjoyable, of course, but they've also got some memories tied to them, which make them even better. Okay?
Absolutely.
So at number 14, we've got It's a Small World. Now, I know some people absolutely despise this attraction, and once you get the song in your head, there's just no getting it out for the rest of the day, okay? But again, this is a classic attraction that has history, and I appreciate that. This attraction was originally designed for the 64-65 World's Fair. After that, it was brought to Disneyland, where it opened in 66. It was so popular that it was recreated and opened with Walt Disney World in 1971. The song, created by the Sherman Brothers, is a timeless classic, and it's catchy for a reason. Okay, those guys were...
They're classics themselves.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. The ride itself is a slow boat ride taking you through the different countries of the world, all singing the song in their basically native languages.
Yep, absolutely.
And it's a must-do for us every trip.
Absolutely. I don't think we could go without riding it.
Yeah, 100%. And fun fact, from Pinocchio's village house, there's windows and you can see people riding the attraction.
Yes, and that's a fun part. If you can get a little spot there while you're having a little snack or some lunch, it's actually kind of fun to sit there.
Lucy and I like to grab, like a drink, like a pop or something.
Sometimes we'll share a chicken strip meal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And just people watch. Yeah.
Yeah, we love to people watch. At number 13, we've got Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin. This is a target game with a 360 spin ride vehicle that's controlled with a joystick with a mounted laser cannon. You try to hit the various Z targets for the evil Zurg throughout the attraction. This is a really fun one that kids love and that we always get very competitive with.
Yeah, 100%.
It's terrible. Plus, there is a ride photo on this attraction, and the photos are always hilarious.
Yeah.
There's always somebody that's super concentrated, somebody that just doesn't seem to care.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. And Oliver, actually, fun note, is
Yep.
the only one who has scored the Galactic Hero status. So there's that. Hey,
Yep.
no big deal.
Exactly.
Don't let it go to your head.
100%.
So if you happen to get the max score, make sure to snap a photo and show the cast members on the way out, and you're going to earn a sticker.
Yep. You'll get a Galactic Hero sticker and bragging rights.
Did we do that?
Yeah.
I don't remember you getting a sticker.
Yeah, I got the sticker. I don't know what I did with it.
Okay,
I
fair.
think I lost it or it got washed with my pants. But
Yeah.
At number 12, we've got Carousel of Progress.
I love this one.
So this is another attraction with a deep history. So any attraction that Walt had a hand in holds a special place for us because we're fans of the man and the history of Disney in the parks. If you haven't already, we strongly suggest the Imagineering Story 6-part miniseries on Genie Plus and the book The Imagineering Story, which builds on the miniseries. Okay, so great watch, great read if you'd like to learn more about the history of the parks. Anyways, the Carousel of Progress initially opened as Progress Land at the 64-65 World's Fair. The Sherman Brothers wrote the classic There's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow song. Another great tune that will stay in your head, but I truly love this one. It's just light and inspiring. And after the World's Fair, the show moved to Disneyland and was renamed Carousel of Progress, where it was eventually moved to Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World in 1975 with a new theme song, The Best Time of Your Life. but it was reworked once more in 1994 to its original form and song, and it's the way it remains to this day.
And I'm happy they did that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. It's a rotating theater taking you through different generations. It's dark, it's cold, it's quiet as well, which is always welcome on a Magic Kingdom day.
I absolutely love that one.
Yep, 100%.
Even the smell, the stinky little smell in there.
Yeah,
It's still
I know.
nostalgia.
And like the seats in there are kind of beat up, right? It probably could use a little bit of TLC, the theater
But it's
itself.
almost like they don't want to touch it because Walt had such a hand in it.
Yeah, I know. That one, I really like that one.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
At number 11, we have Space Mountain. This dark thrill coaster is located in Tomorrowland. It's a very fun coaster, and we do like doing it. We do it every trip. However, I don't know if we're getting older or if the ride is just getting a little bit jerkier or a mix of both. But that's something to keep in mind if you have little ones in your party and you think they might be adverse to that.
Yeah, 100%. It is a little bit jerky.
Yeah.
For sure. Yep.
Of note, it's a bit smoother on the West Coast, and the seating is side by side, which I think probably helps it a lot, not front to back like it is in Walt Disney World.
Yeah, agreed.
But having said that, it is a solid ride and one of the more popular ones in the park for good reason. It's dark, fast, and it's good for the thrill seekers. So it's a really good one to use with your Lightning Lane as well as if you're using Genie Plus.
Yeah, agreed. 100%. All right, we're getting into the top 10 here.
10.
Yeah, and these are harder to rank as we get closer to the top, but here goes. Okay. There is no bad ones at this point.
Agreed.
And there's not really any bad ones overall.
Our top 10 mean a lot to us.
Yeah, 100%. So at number 10, we're putting the Transit Authority People Mover.
This one.
That's also over in Tomorrowland. It kind of hurts to put this attraction at number 10 because
I
literally love it so much. But this attraction is a slower moving ride that takes you for an elevated tour around Tomorrowland, and it gives you great views of the land itself and the castle. So you take a ride on a rolling mat to a higher elevation above lunching pad, and here you board the ride vehicles and away you go. The ride vehicle fits about 4 guests facing each other, and it's the perfect mid-afternoon ride. Okay,
love it.
Yeah, we love hopping on here after we've knocked out a bunch of attractions and we're looking for something slow to get off our feet for a little while. This is another one we'll do every trip. It's a good one, definitely worth checking out. The line is never too long here unless the parks are just crazy busy, and it moves along pretty quickly. There's no Lightning Lane for People Mover though, so something to keep in mind, but you wouldn't need it most times anyways.
Yeah, I love this one. It's so fun.
Yep.
At number 9, we're going to put Peter Pan's Flight, I think.
Yep.
This Fantasyland attraction is right across from It's a Small World. It's a dark, slow-moving ride that takes you in a ship high above the streets of London and Neverland. This is definitely one of our favorites, and it's clear that it is for many people because it's consistently have long waits from very early morning throughout pretty much the entire day.
Yeah, agreed.
So usually after Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is the second most popular ride back there in Fantasyland. Cast members will sprinkle a little pixie dust to get your ship flying at the start of the attraction, and it's just really good.
Yep.
Nostalgia big time. It's a classic and we love it. This is a good one to do early morning right after Seven Dwarfs Mine Train if you played your cards right. And if not, definitely a good candidate for a Lightning Lane if you purchased Disney Genie Plus.
Yeah, agreed. Like for your first Lightning Lane too, like that one and Jungle Cruise are usually the first to book up.
We recommend those ones
yeah,
for
Peter
sure.
Pan's Flight or Jungle Cruise are definitely good ones to snag.
Agreed.
At number 8, we've got Tron Light Cycle Run. Okay, so you might be wondering why such a new and high thrill attraction is at number 8. Well, there's 2 main reasons for that. Okay, so 1, there's a lot of classics and phenomenal attractions that we haven't gotten to yet. And 2, Tron is a really short ride.
It's
okay,
so short.
It's an awesome ride. Don't get us wrong. Super fast, super thrilling. We both love it, and so does our boy. But it's over so quick. Yeah. So it has you board a light cycle, which is essentially a motorcycle, and zooms you through a thrilling track that goes outside under a lit up canopy and through a dark interior scenes. If it's your first time riding it, it's a must do in Magic Kingdom. No doubt about that. After that, though, I'd say it's not worth like the $20 or so individual Lightning Lane, and you're better off doing the virtual queue if you can snag it. Reminder, if you can't snag the one at 7 a.m., which typically goes pretty fast, you can have a much better chance to get the one at 1 p.m., which typically hangs around much longer.
Yeah, I completely agree with all this. I was disappointed that Tron was so short because it is such a fun ride, but I couldn't believe how fast it was over.
And I think what contributed to that is that like the other newest,
space, I'm assuming, too.
Well, the space, sure, but like the biggest attraction to open before Tron was Guardians of the Galaxy. And that one is just so...
It's hard to beat that
It's hard to beat. It's unreal. And it's quite long. So when you...
The music that's blaring.
Yeah, and you can't help to compare the two.
100%.
And like if we were putting them... We don't like to do that. But if we were to put them against each other, like Guardians of the Galaxy is a much better attraction.
Wins hands down.
Yeah,
Hands down,
100%.
yeah. At number 7, we've got Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. This is a really fun and cute family coaster that is a step above Barnstormer, but a little less thrilling than Slinky Dog Dash, in our opinion.
Yep.
It has fast drops and slower parts with dark scenes from Snow White. It's really well done, and we enjoy this one, and it's usually our first stop when we rope drop.
Yep, absolutely, every time. Yep.
Every time. There's also an individual lightning lane in Magic Kingdom, but it doesn't operate a virtual queue, so you can queue up for this one, no problem. The wait times are usually pretty high, though, consistently throughout the day.
Yeah, agreed.
If you arrive for early entry and are rope dropping, we strongly recommend heading to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train very first thing. The wait times, like I said, go up very quickly, and they're going to stay like this until park close. Another one that we don't actually recommend purchasing individual lightning lane for because it's very short, and you can wait in line for it.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Although if you did purchase the individual lightning lane, it is less expensive than the Tron lightning lane.
Yeah, agreed. It usually hovers somewhere between like $12 and $13. So if you wanted to, you could, but just know that you can stand in line for it. And if you are going for early entry, you're staying on property, go for rope drop.
Right away.
Yeah, first thing in the morning. It's going to have the shortest wait throughout the day.
Absolutely. We always pretty much walk onto that ride at rope drop, even if we're a little bit behind. I will say this was our kids' first ride at their first time ever. The picture is hilarious. So that one holds a special place in my heart.
Our daughter looks like
she wasn't expecting what she was. She didn't know what to expect is what it is.
It was probably the fastest coaster she had ever been on in her life, right? So her face is hilarious.
It's the best. So that one holds a special place in my heart due to the fact that we have that picture to commemorate 100%. Her first ride ever.
It's gold. We'll have to share it at some point.
The thrill on his face. It's just perfect. Yeah,
100%. At number 6, it's Jungle Cruise. So this Adventureland attraction is next to the Swiss Family Treehouse. It is a boat ride that takes you through a jungle tour where you'll encounter various animatronic and humorous scenes. What makes this attraction, though, is your skipper.
Oh, so true.
And they're the ones navigating the boat, right? So these skippers will drop puns throughout the ride and narrate the scene with humor sprinkled in.
Some of them are really hilarious, too.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
We love this one, and around Christmas time, it gets a holiday overlay and is temporarily renamed to Jingle Cruise, and it gets decked out with Christmas decorations and Christmas-related humor. So, this gets long waits throughout the day. The load in and unload is quite slow, which contributes to the high wait times, I think. And this is a good candidate, like we said before, for your first lightning lane as well.
Yeah, we always use a lightning lane for that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. At number 5, we've got the Walt Disney World Railroad. This one holds a very special place in a lot of guest hearts. The entrance to Magic Kingdom is a train station, and Walt Disney famously loved trains.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll board one of 4 vintage narrow gauge steam trains that were built between 1916 and 1928 that were restored for use at Disney World. This ride is around 20 minutes and it takes you to different stations. So you've got Main Street USA, Fantasyland, and Frontierland. You can get on or off at any station, or you can take the scenic 1.5 mile ride around the park and get some awesome views.
Yeah, agreed.
It was closed for the longest time when Tron was being built, and it now passes through a tunnel by Tron and includes new narration. So this is one of our absolute favorite things to do in Magic Kingdom. It's a must every single time, if not more than once.
Yeah, absolutely. It's quintessential Disney, like Lucy said. He loved trains famously. And it's such a nice ride around the park. It's literally, it's iconic, right?
Our son loves trains too.
Yeah, 100%. So he's a train guy. So definitely. At number 4, we've got Pirates of the Caribbean. So this is another classic attraction that has history and nostalgia, but it's also a stellar attraction that is 100% worth your time.
Yes.
We love this attraction and we ride it multiple times every trip. This is a dark boat ride that takes you through scenes set in the 17th century and now features Captain Jack Sparrow, which was added much later. Okay, so not everyone knows this, but the ride predates the movies by a lot. Yeah, 100%. The original attraction opened in Disneyland in 1967, just a few months after Walt's death. It was the last attraction to open that he had a hand in designing prior to his passing. So Pirates did not open Walt Disney World in 1971. Disney miscalculated, thinking that it wouldn't have the same appeal on the East Coast, given their proximity to the Caribbean. But guests were unhappy with that and wanted the attraction in the East as well. So Disney quickly responded, and Pirates opened in Magic Kingdom in 1973. Now, versions of Pirates exist in Tokyo, Paris, and Shanghai.
And I kind of like that each park has a different version of it.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's kind of like you're riding the new ride again, right? It's not always the same. It's fun. I like that
100%.
about it.
Like the international parks have like major spins on it, and Disneyland's version is almost twice as long.
Yep. So
and it has 2 drops instead of 1.
Exactly.
Yeah.
At number 3, we've got Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So, okay, we know what you're thinking. Why is it number 3 when you've never ridden it? It's not even open yet, but hear us out. Splash Mountain was previously one of our favorites and easily top 3 at Magic Kingdom.
Yep, agreed.
It was previously a log flume ride that took you through scenes set to the movie Song of the South. It is in the process of being reimagined as Tiana's Bayou Adventure, inspired, of course, by Princess and the Frog. The ride system is not changing at all. The scenes and some of the surface imagineering is being changed changed, but the guts of the attraction is remaining the same. And we absolutely loved it, so we fully expect to love this one just as much. Frontierland is definitely missing some flair right now, and we're looking forward to riding it when it reopens this summer. At this point, we don't know if it's going to be an individual Lightning Lane and virtual queue, so we'll make sure to bring you all those news when it's released.
Yeah, 100%. Like Lucy said, Frontierland is missing something right now,
really
and it's
is,
glaring, right?
Yeah.
So when that opens, it's really going to refresh that space, and we love Splash Mountain. So the ride system, like Lucy said, isn't changing. It's going to be the same thing with a new face, essentially. So
Can't go wrong.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it for sure. At number 2, we've got Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, and this is the wildest ride in the wilderness. Okay, but it's really a fun coaster.
It's so fun.
It's located on the furthest end of Frontierland, just past where Tiana's Bayou Adventure will be. And this is a coaster that has you board a speeding train that will take you through an abandoned mine shaft and a haunted gold mine. If you sit at the back of the train, you'll have a more thrilling experience, whereas it's a little more tame, okay, and little being the operating word here, near the front of the train. But it'll still be a blast. So right now, if you're arriving for early entry, but you are not a resort guest, meaning you won't be able to get into Fantasyland or Tomorrowland, it's a good idea to rope drop Adventureland and head to Jungle Cruise first thing. Your next stop after that could be Big Thunder. Usually early in the morning, the wait won't be too long and you might be able to get a couple ride-throughs before the crowds arrive. This is consistently one of our favorites and we absolutely love this one. There's one in Disneyland that is very similar and there's a version of it in Disneyland Paris and Tokyo as well. The Disneyland Paris version goes underground into its own island and I'd love to experience that someday. It looks unreal. We saw it on the Imagineering Story, like the 6-part miniseries we were mentioning earlier, and I have to go see it. It looks awesome.
We will one day for sure.
Agreed, 100%.
And coming in at number 1, you could have seen this coming because there's a glaring attraction that we haven't covered yet, and that's Haunted Mansion.
Yep.
So you may completely disagree with this, and that's 100% okay, but we absolutely love this attraction.
Yep. This is located in Liberty Square. It's a slow-moving Omnimover attraction that has you board the Doom buggy and takes you through chilling chambers throughout the mansion. Okay, so inside you'll find fun illusions and ghost ghouls and other creepy residents. It's a fun attraction, and the last part of the attraction is the graveyard scene where you'll hear Grim Grinning Ghosts, which is one of my favorite Disney songs. The original ideas for Haunted Mansion predate Disneyland itself and evolved during Walt's life. He passed before this idea ever came to fruition, and it evolved from its original concepts and design into what it is today. The original opened in 1969 in Disneyland and opened with Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World in 1971. And there's a version of it in Tokyo Disney as well. If you're wondering how scary it is, it's not that scary, okay? So your littles should be fine here. But having said that, you know your kids best, so use your best judgment.
Absolutely.
Our kids did just fine with it. Our son Caleb actually compares it to Luigi's Mansion, like if your kids are like Mario fans in terms of creepiness level. So if you know what that is, you can use that as your scale.
Yeah, definitely our family favorite. We just love that one so much.
Yep, agreed.
So this is our ranking of the Magic Kingdom attractions as of today. This has changed over the years. When we first started coming to the parks, this probably would have looked very different. And this is obviously seen through a lens of park goers that have been many, many times.
Yep, agreed. Having said that, our top 10 or so would probably land on most people's top 10, I think, right? In some variation, as these are popular for good reason, whether that's for thrill factor or the fact that these are classic attractions to the Disney parks. At the end of the day, ride preference is just so subjective. So really, the best we can do is tell you about these attractions and you can decide which ones you'd like to prioritize from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Some people appreciate slower rides or rides with a lot of detail and Imagineering. And some people love the thrill rides. Some people love dark rides. You get all kinds and that's totally okay. Yeah, and you're going to get all those kinds at Disney with all these rides.
Yeah, that's the beauty of Disney is they have, a bunch of different attractions, shows. There's something for everyone there.
Absolutely. They appeal to everybody.
Yeah, agreed. Having said that, thanks so much for joining us today to talk Magic Kingdom attractions. If you haven't already, find us on Instagram at letsgo.to-disney for more Disney tips and fun. We're also on Facebook. Our page there is Let's Go to Disney. Also, if you're not subscribed to the podcast, we'd sure appreciate it if you took the time to do that.
Yeah, and if you can find the time to drop us a rating and a review, it would be greatly appreciated. This helps us reach more listeners, and that's why we started this podcast, is to help people have a great Disney vacation.
Agreed. Have a great day, and we'll see you real soon.